Welcome to our YouTube channel, your gateway to the world of management sciences made simple. Whether you are a student, professional, or just curious about the fascinating world of management, you are in the right place. Join us on this knowledge journey. This material is from book Total Quality Management. I am here to explain Chapter 13, which is the Total Productive Maintenance. Introduction. Good maintenance is fundamental to a productive manufacturing system. Try running a production line with faulty equipment. Total Productive Maintenance, TPM, is keeping the current plant and equipment at its highest productive level through cooperation of all areas of the organization. Generally, the first task is to break down the traditional barriers between maintenance and production personnel so they are working together. Individuals working together without regard to organizational structure, using their skills and ingenuity, have a common objective: peak performance or total productivity. This approach does not mean that such basic techniques as predictive and preventative maintenance are not used. They are essential to building a foundation for a successful TPM environment. Predictive maintenance is the process of using data and statistical tools to determine when a piece of equipment will fail, and preventative maintenance is the process of periodically performing activities such as lubrication on the equipment to keep it running. The total maintenance function should be directed towards the elimination of unplanned equipment and plant maintenance. The objective is to create a system in which all maintenance activities can be planned and not interfere with the production process. Surprise equipment breakdowns should not occur. Before the advent of computer-aided manufacturing, operators in some organizations were responsible for their machines and took a certain pride of ownership. With the help of maintenance technicians, operators spent part of their work time keeping their equipment in good running order. Recent technical advances have given us more tools to perform the maintenance function. Analyzing TPM into its 3 words, we have total equals all-encompassing by maintenance and production individuals working together. Productive equals production of goods and services that meet or exceed customers' expectations. Maintenance equals keeping equipment and plant in as good as or better than the original condition at all times. The overall goals of TPM are: 1. Maintaining and improving equipment capacity. 2. Maintaining equipment for life. 3. Using support from all areas of the operation. 4. Encouraging input from all employees. 5. Using teams for continuous improvement. The plan. The first activity in any assessment of performance is to determine the current operating parameters. Where are we today? What systems do we have in place, and how do they work? What is the current condition of the plant and equipment? Are we starting from scratch, or do we have workable systems that only need to be improved? Total Productive Maintenance, TPM, is an extension of the Total Quality Management, TQM, philosophy to the maintenance function. 7 basic steps get an organization started toward TPM. 1. Management learns the new philosophy. 2. Management promotes the new philosophy. 3. Training is funded and developed for everyone in the organization. 4. Areas of needed improvement are identified. 5. Performance goals are formulated. 6. An implementation plan is developed. 7. Autonomous work groups are established. There is no single correct method for implementation, however, these steps will provide a good framework. Learning the new philosophy. One of the most difficult things for senior management to deal with is change. They need to learn about TPM and how it will affect their operations. There are many successful examples. There are also many organizations that have tried various techniques to improve performance and failed. Benchmarking with a successful organization will provide valuable information. Any cultural change takes a special dedication by management to provide long-term, top-to-bottom support for improvement. The easy approach is to accept today's good performance numbers and say, why change? The answer is to gain a competitive edge and to increase profits. Many of an organization's competitors are most likely improving and will be far ahead of other non-changing organizations in the future. There also exists, in management, the concept that somehow because I am the chief, I know more than those who work here. TPM is merely trying to tap into an unused resource, the brain power and problem-solving ability of all the organization's employees. Thus, it is necessary to allow people to make decisions. This approach is not permissive management, because management is still responsible for the performance of the organization. It does, however, represent a different way of managing. Many organizations have had the flavor-of-the-month approach to changing management techniques. This approach has led to credibility problems with employees. Management is changed and the new manager does not build on past accomplishments but develops a new system that will presumably solve all of the organization's problems. Lack of ownership seems to cause low morale and dissatisfaction with management. Ownership should be based on what is good for the customer and for the employees that serve the customer. A look at approaches at Southwest Airlines or Hewlett-Packard helps to understand what needs to be done. These organizations, and others, emphasize employee well-being and empowerment. It is difficult to argue with their performance numbers. Initially, this change will require more work by management. Eventually, it will mean less work as all individuals start solving their own problems. Promoting the philosophy. Senior management must spend significant time in promoting the system. They must sell the idea and let the employees know that they are totally committed to its success. Like TQM or any other major change in an organization, there must be total commitment from the top. If the belief in the new philosophy and commitment are not there, then positive results will not happen. Too often lip service is given to a new idea. This action is usually brought on by a belief that the new system will solve some immediate problems and lead to an immediate return on investment. A long-term commitment to the new philosophy is required. It has been proven by other organizations to be a better way of doing business. Point 2 Management should lead the way by practicing the new philosophy. Organizations that are having difficulties owe it, in part, to insincere leadership. One of the best ways to implement the new philosophy is just to start doing it. In other words, start giving the maintenance and production personnel more autonomy. Once the employees realize that management is serious about taking the organization in a new, more positive direction, employees usually respond. Introducing TPM with a huge fanfare leads employees to shrug it off as the latest method for getting them to work harder. Management must first build credibility, and the best way to accomplish that task is to change first and lead the way. Improvement needs. There are usually some machines that seem to be on the verge of breaking down or require an excessive amount of maintenance. Employees who work with the equipment on a daily basis are better able to identify these conditions than anyone else in the organization. A good first step is to let the operators and maintenance technicians tell management which machines and systems need the most attention. An implementation team of operators and technicians to coordinate this process is essential. This action will build credibility and start the organization towards TPM. One of the first steps for the team is to identify the current status. In other words, what is the baseline? The following measurements were developed by the Japanese and are accepted by most practitioners. 6 major loss areas need to be measured and tracked. Downtime losses. 1. Planned A. Startups. B. Shift changes. C. Coffee and lunch breaks. D. Planned maintenance shutdowns. Goal. Goals should be set after the improvement needs are identified. A good first goal is to establish the timeframe for fixing the first prioritized problem. Technicians and operators will probably want it done faster than management because it causes them more problems on a daily basis. Identifying needs and setting goals begins the process of getting the organization to work together as a team. Developing plans. First, develop and implement an overall plan of action for training all employees. Plans for developing the autonomous work groups should take place during the training phase. Plan to use teams of maintenance technicians and operators to work on particularly troublesome problems. Priorities can be set and management can make a commitment with resources to correct some of the basic problems. Using the team approach will set the stage for the development of autonomous work groups, which are teams established for daily operations. At this point, employees should have input into how these autonomous teams are structured. Part of the planning process should take into consideration that autonomous work groups will change over time. As processes and procedures are improved, the structure of the whole organization will change. It would be unreasonable not to expect autonomous work groups to change also. Autonomous work groups. Autonomous work groups are established based on the natural flow of activity. First, make the operator responsible for the equipment and the level of maintenance that he is capable of performing. Next, identify the maintenance personnel who work in certain areas or have certain skill levels. Operators and maintenance personnel are brought together, resulting in an autonomous work group. These groups must have the authority to make decisions about keeping the equipment in first-class running order. The structure of autonomous work groups will vary with different applications and types of industries. Summary. The 7-step plan outlined in this chapter provides a framework to establish TPM. It should be modified to meet different organizational needs. An effective total productive maintenance program will lead to improved quality and productivity and, of course, an improved bottom line. TPM is an extension of TQM to maintenance function. Like any other improvement initiative, management must manage the change by demonstrating commitment, getting involved, promoting the philosophy, providing resources, and supporting training. One of the first steps for the teams is to identify and quantify the 6 big losses on an identified critical machine, which require excessive maintenance and most attention. Based on the current status, goals are decided and an action plan is prepared. Autonomous workgroups should be developed during the training phase. As a part of this process, operator is made accountable for the routine maintenance functions, which she is capable of, and the maintenance person with specified skill level is assigned to the autonomous work group. TPM has been successfully implemented in many organizations across the world.